Hello, MCU fans. Today we're going to take a look at the question of who's going to show up in Deadpool 3. And let me say right off the bat, I am not a fan of rumors and leaks, so you do not have to worry. That is not what I'm going to be talking about in this video. I'm going to base all my decisions 100% on what I think makes the most sense for the story based on what we've seen in the movies so far and where I think the MCU is going. So no rumors or leaks, I promise. However, I can't guarantee what the comments are going to look like. I would ask people, please don't leave rumors and leaks down there, but, I can't guarantee anything. So be careful. The comments may be carnage, but at least this video will be based solely on what I think makes the most sense story-wise. So I'm going to look at two things. What's the percentage chance that a character is going to show up in Deadpool 3? And if they do show up there, what's the percentage chance they're going to make it into Secret Wars? Because I think a lot of the characters that appear in this movie are also going to show up in Secret Wars. So lots to talk about. Let's dive right in and see what we can find out. And so as I've mentioned all throughout this month, we're running a contest. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on a video. I will then choose a winner randomly by the end of the month and announce that winner at early September in a video, and the winner will be able to choose from one of these three books. So very cool. Best of luck to everyone. All right, so first character is Deadpool himself. Will Deadpool show up in his own movie? You may say, of course he will, right? Well, wouldn't it be the most Deadpool thing ever to not show up in his own movie? So I'm actually going to place it at a 99% chance. There's at least a 1% chance he's a no-show in his own movie. It would just be perfect Deadpool, right? But if he does show up, then I think it's a 100% chance that we see him again in Secret Wars and beyond. So very cool, very exciting to have Deadpool finally enter the MCU. It's going to be awesome. All right, next, Wolverine. Now, you talk about somebody who is a lock for this movie. I'm actually going to put him at a 100% chance. There's a greater chance he shows up than Deadpool himself. Now, why do I say that? Well, if you look back at the two Deadpool movies, they have either been him, teasing and making fun of Hugh Jackman or showing his love and adoration for Hugh Jackman and Wolverine. In fact, he even went back in time to kill the crappy Deadpool and literally invited Wolverine to be in his next movie. There is a 100% chance Wolverine's showing up. Also, I think it's a 100% chance that if he does show up, he's going to show up again in Secret Wars. Because I think the best chance for Foggy to have any X-Men at all in Secret Wars is going to be to pull them from the Fox universe. So we'll talk more about that as we get to some of the other X-Men. But yeah, Wolverine is a lock both for Deadpool 3 and for Secret Wars. Okay, so for this next one, I want to mention a video that I made, almost 10 months ago. So way before there were ever any rumors on who was or wasn't going to show up in this movie. And I was looking at the question of, how did I think Deadpool might come into the MCU? And I had a whole bunch of crazy, jokey ideas. For example, I suggested that he would use Cable's time device to go back in time to convince Marvel not to sell the X-Men rights over to 20th Century Fox. Because if they didn't do that, then retroactively, Deadpool would always be part of the MCU. I just love that idea. I can just see him trying to convince Stan, R.I.P. Stan Lee. Hey, don't sell, because there's going to be a day you're going to wish I was part of the MCU. So it was a fun video, threw out a lot of crazy ideas. But one that I did not think of was the idea of Mobius and the TVA being the reason. Now, I didn't think of it, but two viewers who left comments, both Al and Lewis Jones, 9 months ago. So again, way before there was any talk of anybody who may or may not be in the movie, they suggested it, and I fell in love with the idea. Think about it. Negasonic Teenage Warhead basically gave Cable's device over to Deadpool, who then, screwed up the timelines. Who better than the TVA to come in and fix the problem? Love it. Love it. Again, Al and Lewis, you guys rock. Okay, so I think there's a 90% chance that Mobius shows up. It's just such a cool idea. Needs to absolutely happen. And if he does show up, I think it's a 100% chance that he shows up again in Secret Wars. It's a great way to integrate him into the greater MCU instead of just being trapped kind of in the Loki storylines. Bring him in through Deadpool and then bring him into Secret Wars. Love it. All right, next, Cable. Cable. I would love to see Cable again. He was fantastic in Deadpool 2. But I really think his story is done. I don't think there's anywhere else to go with it. Having him appear would be just for the fun of, hey, look, it's Cable. Okay, see you later, bye. So is there a chance he'll show up? Yeah, there is. But I just don't see it happening. I don't see the point to it. And if he does manage to appear, so I think there's only a 10% chance he shows up. But if he does, it's an even lower chance that he makes it out of the movie and into Secret Wars. Now, I don't mean he dies. I think Deadpool's timelines are probably even still going to be around, or maybe they get truncated and destroyed as part of the movie. But either way, I don't think characters are going to die. I just think the timeline isn't going to be revisited after Deadpool 3. So, yeah, I'd love to see you again, Cable, but it's not going to happen. All right. Colossus, on the other hand, I do think they want as many X-Men as possible to show up for Secret Wars. So, absolutely, I think he's showing up in the movie. He was great, a lot of fun. It was funny, I didn't really like his interpretation of Colossus right at first, but man, did it grow on me before long. So, he's great, love him. And yeah, like I say, if he does show up, 100% chance we see him in Secret Wars. This is how they're going to give us the X-Men in Secret Wars. Okay, so how about Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Yukio? Such a cute couple. Great characters. Do I think they will appear in the movie? Boy, it'd be a real shame if they didn't. That's all I can say. Is he had a fantastic supporting cast. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be brought back. So I think there's an 80% chance we see both of them appear again. Now the question, really the big question is, will they come over into the MCU and thus be seen in Secret Wars and beyond? I don't know. I could almost see this being the end of the trilogy, if you will, for these characters and them not going forward. So I'm going to say there's only a 25% chance they make it out of the movie. I don't mean they're going to die, but they're just left in the Fox timeline, I guess, right? Let me know what you think, but there is going to be a Deadpool 4 and 5 and 6 probably. It's a great series, and Ryan Reynolds will want to do more. I just don't know if these particular characters will come forward. This might be the way to end their time in the Deadpool movies. So we'll see. Then Domino. Oh my gosh, I love Domino. I still see people cosplaying Domino at events like a Gen Con. So will Domino make it? Well, or make it in the movie. She better. She better be in the movie. I'm putting an 80% chance because I love Domino. But then the question is, will we see her then in Secret Wars and beyond? I think there's a better chance than Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Yukio, but no, I really think if Domino appears, it'll be the last movie we see her in. So nice farewell to an awesome character. Okay, how about Vanessa? I love Vanessa. Man, such a fantastic relationship between she and Deadpool. Now, considering that she was basically fridged and then unfridged in Deadpool 2, there's no way she doesn't show up in Deadpool 3. She better, darn it. And then considering that there will be a Deadpool 4 and beyond, I'm certain of it, he's going to need a supporting cast. So I don't really know how she's going to get pulled into the MCU, but I really think she is somehow. I mean, if they all stay back, it's just Deadpool and Deadpool 4. That's no good, right? So, yeah, I do think Vanessa will find some way to make it out. How about Blind Al? Love Blind Al. Those two are so funny together. Yeah, I think she'll have a very small role if she appears in Deadpool 3, but I think there's a very strong chance she's going to be there. I mean, I think Marvel's learned their lesson after Quantumania in that you can't just ignore all the supporting characters that have made the first two movies in a trilogy great. I mean, there was no Luis. There was Ant-Man's ex-wife wasn't there, and her new boyfriend, and just so many supporting characters didn't show up. That was a bummer. So yeah, I think Blind Al will be there. Will Blind Al make it then into the MCU? Well, again, Deadpool 4 needs a supporting cast. I'm going to put a greater chance she makes it than she doesn't. So however on earth Vanessa makes it, Blind Al's coming too. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. Then Dopinder, oh my gosh, what a great character, especially in Deadpool 2. He was so funny. Yet no way that dude didn't show up. He's going to be in Deadpool 3. But does he make it out? Well, I'm going to put him in the same group, right? I think Vanessa's the strongest chance, absolutely. If no one else, it's Vanessa. But I do think he's going to make it out somehow because, again, Deadpool needs a supporting cast going forward. Okay, how about Weasel? Weasel. I would have said really high chance he shows up. But, and this is one of the few times I'm going to do it, I'm going to look at personal lives. And man, the actor's been in some trouble. There have been some very serious allegations against him. Some of them didn't pan out, but they were still made. And then he and Ryan Reynolds don't seem to be getting along. Basically, the actor said, I don't want to be in another movie. Okay, then you're not going to be in another movie. I'm just going to go with 0% chance. And on the off chance he actually shows up, 0% chance that he makes it out of the movie. He may actually die. I've said some of the others that don't, quote unquote, make it out of the movie. I don't mean they're going to die. They don't come forward into the MCU. No, I think Weasel, if he were to show up, gets hit by a giant boulder and squished. So from the way things sound between him and Reynolds. Okay, how about Rusty? Great character, really fun story in Deadpool 2. I just think his story is done. I don't see him showing up. It doesn't make any sense. There's a remote chance that they just have him with a small cameo or he has a small part, but yeah, his story was complete. There's no reason to bring him in. And if he does show up, no chance. He's not coming over to the MCU and Secret Wars and beyond. No. So anyway, nice. He was awesome in Deadpool 2, but I think that's it. Okay, how about Peter? Talk about another fantastic character from Deadpool 2. No powers, but maybe some of the funniest bits in the entire movie. But does it make sense to bring him back and try to do those same bits? I don't know. I'm going to say 40% chance. It's less likely than it is likely that he comes back. But hey, if he does, I'm loving it. I hope he comes back. If he does come back, though, I don't think there's any chance that he comes forward. I think he finishes out the trilogy and that's it. But my guess is we don't see him at all. So that'd be a bummer. He was a great character. Okay, now let's talk about some of the X-Men. So we have the first class X-Men, I'm calling them, the younger crew, and then we'll get to the OGs in a second. So do I think any of the first class will show up? Well, keep in mind, they did have the little cameo already in Deadpool 2, showing that, they're in the same continuity, I guess, or was it all a joke? Who knows with Deadpool, right? But so they did show up. Then you've got the fact that Wolverine has met them and has the briefest of relationships, the funny bar scene there in the first movie. And then, of course, we saw him as Weapon X in one of the later movies. The bottom line is they just don't have any ties with Deadpool and Wolverine, I don't think. So I think it's a very low chance they show up. Also, Foggy probably doesn't feel as married to this version versus Foggy helped create the OG X-Men. He was part of the team. He wasn't, the head of the studio at that point, but he worked on those movies. So I don't think so. And on the off chance they do show up, they're not going forward. They would just show up in some weird way and wave high, and then they're gone. So yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I think we saw the last of them, unfortunately, in the Dark Phoenix movie. Not the best way to end, but oh well. Okay, so how about the OG X-Men? So I'm going to break the OG X-Men up into a couple different groups. The first group is the main ones. I mean, obviously Wolverine we've already covered, but I think Cyclops, Storm, Jean Grey, and Professor X. I think they are a package deal. They're the ones we think of immediately when we think of the OG team. Obviously, they're the ones that Wolverine has the most relationship with and would care the most about. And we've already even seen Patrick Stewart is willing to come back because he came back for Multiverse of Madness. So this wouldn't be the same one. That one's dead, but it'd be another variant of him. So I think these four all stand a 90% chance of appearing. I think all four will appear. I'm not saying they all four have to appear, but I really think all four are shoo-ins. And then if they do appear in the movie, I think it's a 90% chance they also show up in Secret Wars. Because, again, Feige wants an X-Men team for Secret Wars. Now, Secret Wars would be their last movie. I don't think they would appear beyond that. But, yeah, I could see them showing up in Deadpool and then coming over into the MCU to end up being in Secret Wars. Okay, what about some of the secondary OG X-Men? Beast, Angel, Rogue, and Kitty Pryde, Iceman, even Colossus. And now Colossus, really, I don't think we see him because he's already appeared, right? He's going to appear as the Deadpool version. But the rest of these, boy, it'd be nice to see them. I hope they show up. It's a lot of money to pay for characters that I suspect will not have a big role. But on the other hand, it'd be really nice to see him again. But I personally think it's a low chance. Let me know what you think. I think the biggest chance of any of them is Rogue, because it'd be nice to give her a real good send-off. But I don't think so. I don't think any of these end up showing up. Or if they do, it's in a very, very small role. And if they do show up, I think it's a small chance they come over into Secret Wars. It'd be great to have a ton of characters for Secret Wars, but man, we already have so many. I can't imagine all the characters are going to be showing up. So I think that they're going to focus on those main X-Men, and if these even show up, we probably won't see them in Secret Wars. Okay, I'm putting this guy separate, though. I really, really, really want Nightcrawler to show up again. Alan Cummings supposedly didn't like all the makeup, and that's why we didn't see him in the third X-Men movie and only in the second one. But I bet they can convince him. Please come back. Please. I love Nightcrawler's power set, and I just love his interpretation of Nightcrawler. So I know that I'm wishing, but I'm going to go with a 50% chance. So I think it's a better chance than not that he'll show up. Please, please, please. And then I do think if he does show up, there's a really good chance he shows up in Secret Wars. I know that looks a little weird to see the percentage numbers go up, but keep in mind the first one's saying there's less of a chance he shows up in Deadpool 3. But if he does, there's an even better chance he makes it into Secret Wars then, because we'll be so glad to have him back. So yeah, I really hope so. Please, please. Okay, how about the New Mutants? Not a great movie, not a terrible movie, but not a great movie. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I mean, as in no chance. It's just not going to. I mean, some of the actors and actresses, Anna Taylor-Joy is pretty famous now. I imagine she would not want to come back for a bit role. Even Charlie Heaton with Stranger Things. So yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. On the off chance that they do show up, I mean, the very off chance, there's no chance they're showing up in Secret Wars. It'll be a one and done, a cute little cameo. But now I don't think they really want to even acknowledge this movie existed, unfortunately, which is too bad. Really too bad. Okay, how about Magneto? Let's talk villains. Do I think Magneto will show up? You know, since I strongly feel we're going to see Professor X, I can't imagine they wouldn't bring back Magneto as well. I mean, bringing back one without the other would be a crime, right? And I think this is a good way to get Magneto into Secret Wars. Now, there's less of a chance. I could see them one and doneing him and saying, no, it was nice to have him here, but that's it. That was his swan song. But hey, if you got him to put on the costume once, I bet they can get him to do it again for Secret Wars. So my hope is that he shows up for sure in Deadpool 3, and then I think there's less of a chance, but that he might show up in Secret Wars. How about Mystique? I love Mystique, especially in X-Men United, but really loved her in all three of her appearances. We already covered the fact we're not going to see the younger version of Mystique, so this would be the Rebecca Romijn appearance. Do I think it'll happen? Well, do I want it to happen? Yes. Do I think it'll happen? No. Honestly, I don't. I just don't know what the character would do. But I really hope I'm wrong. Tell me what you think. Tell me I'm wrong, because I would love to have her show up. If she does show up, though, I think it's a very low chance she makes it into Secret Wars. It would be kind of a swan song goodbye to her. But yeah, I hope we see her. I really do. And I don't know what they'll do with her, but I'm sure it'll be fun. How about Juggernaut, talking about villains? We have two versions of Juggernaut, actually. Such a popular villain. He was in X-Men Last Stand and, of course, Deadpool 2. Do I think either of them will show up? I don't. I don't think they will. I don't think there's any point. But, again, I'd be fine if either or somehow both of them showed up. But yeah, I don't think it'll happen. And if they do show up in Deadpool, it'll be it. That'll be their swan song. They're not going to be in Secret Wars. Secret Wars won't be about villains like these. Although, you never know. If they go like the 1985 version of Secret Wars with a ton of villains, maybe they want some carried over. You never know. Let me know what you think. Will Juggernaut make it over? But I don't think so. Scarlet Witch. Now, Scarlet Witch, this is really interesting. Do I think it's the 616 Scarlet Witch? No, I don't know how it could be necessarily unless she universe jumped, but I don't think she knows how to do that. But a variant of Scarlet Witch? Yeah, I could see that happening, and here's why. Elizabeth Olsen has talked about how much she would love to be in a movie with Ian McKellen, Magneto. And I think Foggy would love to finally bring that tie together and show that at least a variant of Scarlet Witch is the daughter of a variant of Magneto. So, yeah, this would just kind of be a perfect little way to bring it all home. So, yeah, I think there's a very good chance she shows up, at least more likely than not. And then, obviously, she'll be in Secret Wars and beyond. It may not be this version, but there will be a Scarlet Witch. So I have to say 100% because clearly she's coming back. But, yeah, I would love to see it. I don't know how they would tie her story in, but that would be really cool. Now, then we move on to some of the other properties. How about, I'm going to pull them as a package set because I think you cannot bring one of these without bringing all three. Daredevil, Elektra, and good old Johnny Favs coming back as Happy Hogan. He was the original Happy Hogan. Do I think these guys will appear? It would be a crime not to. We're saying goodbye to the Fox universe? Yeah, they have got to appear. But do I think they'll come over to Secret Wars? Very remote chance. And why do I say that? Well, because we already have a Daredevil in 616. That doesn't mean we can't have multiple. It might be kind of funny, actually, to have variants meeting and talking to each other. But I kind of wonder if they wouldn't want to go that route. If they would, they don't want people to be thinking, "Oh, I remember the other version of Daredevil. That was cool." Well, that'd be hard to imagine with Affleck, right? The Daredevil, his version wasn't that great, but still. I just don't think they're going to have more than one in Secret Wars. But I could be wrong. Let me know what you think. Do you think they'll show up in Secret Wars too? And then how about the Fantastic Four? Now I'm going to break them into two pieces. I'm going to do Johnny and Sue first because I think they have the greatest chance of appearing. Both Jessica Alba and Chris Evans did such a great job. They're so famous now. It would be great to have them back. So I think there's a really, really high chance we get both of them. But if they appear, will they appear in Secret Wars? Well, again, we're going to have a version of Fantastic Four by that time. I really don't know if they want competing Fantastic Fours. I mean, maybe competing Daredevils, because everybody loves Charlie Cox. They're not going to want Ben Affleck's Daredevil over Charlie Cox. But, I mean, could they be wanting Chris Evans or Jessica Alba instead of the new Fantastic Four? I don't know. I just don't think it'll happen. I think they'll show up, and this is their swan song, saying goodbye to the Fox universe. And they won't come over. Then how about Reed and Ben? Well, it would be weird to have only two of the Fantastic Four. So I do think they're all going to appear. I think there's a stronger chance they will than they won't. I just think if you can't get all of them, you got to get Evans and Alba. Versus Mr. Fantastic and Ben Grimm, I want them there, but it's less important to me. But then again, if they do show up, no chance they make it into Secret Wars, right? This will be their swan song, and we say goodbye to them. Okay, then this is a crazy one, but I'm going to throw this out there. How about Doctor Doom? I mean, if there's any chance that we're going to get a Doctor Doom in time for Secret Wars, what about bringing in Julian McMahon's? I mean, I didn't think he was that bad. Both of the Fantastic Four movies that he was in were campy, right? That's a given. But he did a decent job. He was a good Doctor Doom. So I don't think it's going to happen, honestly. I'm just throwing it out there for thoughts. But, if they want a Doctor Doom, this is the way to get one. So, do I think he's going to appear? No, I do not. But if he does appear, then I think there's a really good chance this is their way of bringing in Doctor Doom into Secret Wars. So that seems weird to say that there's a really low chance he's going to show up. But if he does, there's a really high chance he makes it into Secret Wars. So we'll see. Tell me what you think on Doctor Doom. Crazy. All right. And then how about the Fan Four Stick? Not going to happen. None of them. I don't think so. I can't imagine any of them want to come back, and I don't think anybody wants them to come back. Poor Michael B. Jordan, man. That's one of the few things he's done where you just scratched your head. But it was a terrible script. It's not his fault. It was just a terrible script. And if they do somehow show up, there's no chance they're showing up in Secret Wars. But anyway, I don't think they're showing up at all. Let me know what you think, but it ain't happening. It just ain't happening. All right, so I went through a lot there. Let's summarize the ones that I think at least have a 50% chance or greater to show up in Deadpool 3. 50% chance or greater. This is a lot. I mean, that's 24 characters. And there may even be more, right? But 24 characters. Wow. So, that's a pretty full movie right there. Daredevil's characters, Fantastic Four, bunch of X-Men, Deadpool's supporting cast and heroes, and of course Mobius. Wow. Give it to us, right? Okay, so then what about the chance that they appear after Deadpool 3? Which are the characters that have a 50% chance or greater to appear in Secret Wars and beyond? Okay, well, eliminating Daredevil's characters, because I really think that's it. I do not think they make it into Secret Wars. And, of course, we eliminated the Fantastic Four, and we eliminate, sadly, some of Deadpool's supporting cast. But I think all of these, after appearing in Deadpool 3, are going to appear in Secret Wars, which is pretty awesome. Then I think most of them, that's it. Secret Wars is one and done for them. But, obviously, Deadpool and his supporting cast, I think, will show up in Deadpool 4 and beyond. Okay, there you go. Let me know what you think. There's a lot there that I'm sure people disagree with. So leave a comment. Obviously, leave a comment because you can enter the contest, right? But leave comments and let me know what you think, too. Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? What are your opinions? And don't forget, we do have a Discord server. I will leave a pinned comment so you can join if you'd like. We talk about everything you can imagine. Also, if you don't mind, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out more content, and we'll all continue to enjoy the ever-growing, ever-changing Marvel Cinematic Universe.